Hey, now I intentionally did not tell you that this week we were going to be covering the genealogy because I knew that people would be like, great, genealogy day at church. Let's go out for pancakes, Martha. But let me give you a better picture of what's going on here. Matthew is a book about the kingdom of God, and it's about King Jesus who brings the kingdom of God. The genealogy is like a drum roll. It's like a fanfare to his coming. To the ancient mind, it would be an important, even critical beginning to a broader story. I remember when I was at the University of Illinois, I began studying the Bible with an international student who was from Africa. And we just kind of had it in mind that we would start at the beginning and go through the New Testament, one chapter at a time. We sat down to read for the very first time. And I said to him, you know what? We could just skip chapter 1, because that's just like, parents and grandparents and a bunch of names that you really don't know. And the story really starts in chapter 2 anyway, so let's go ahead and start there. And before I went, he stopped me, and he said, would it be okay if we read chapter 1 too? And I said, well, yeah, I guess, okay. So we read through name after name, and we got to the bottom, and he got to the end, and he said, that was amazing. And I said, really? Why? And he said, well, do you realize what this means? I mean, what this means is that Jesus, if he had parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, that means that Jesus was a real person. That means that he was in history. That means that he has context with his family and a story that leads up to him. I was under the impression all this time that Jesus was just a mythological figure that people made up hundreds of years later, but the genealogy tells us that he was historical. And I thought, wow, good thing I, the professional full-time Christian staff member, am leading this Bible study. Because I got schooled by an African international student reading it for the very first time that day.